There's a new #1 player in the world, and it's JT. Not this JT. I'm talking about a JT that plays much better than this JT. It's Justin Thomas. I'm always asked, what do you like about his game? And it is his full release. Never cease to release. And lag sometimes can be a drag. This one is for the high handicap players. This one is for the low handicap players. Let's define release. So many of you think release is the closing of the club face through impact. That is actually face closure. Imagine that. Release is a release of angles. So when I put angles in my arms, I get them all out at impact as if I'm going to take this and throw it down the range. I would get all the angles out of my arms and let it go. That's what release is. That's what Justin Thomas does. That's the way to transmit all the speed and energy into your driver. So that would help out your high handicap players because they always need speed. But I also said this helps out the low handicap players. So who is that helping out? Well, there's actually a percentage of the population that hits their irons great, probably hits some high draws, but for some odd reason, as soon as they get that driver in their hand, it is shorter, it is spinnier, and it is more right. And they are lagging and dragging that handle through impact. So let's test this out. I'm gonna drag it as hard and as fast as I possibly can with that radar, and we'll see how fast I do it. Okay, 99 miles an hour. That's not too shabby for some people out there. But now I'm gonna give it the JT release, or at least this JT release, and I'm gonna let that club head and that shaft line up through impact. I'm gonna almost feel as like I'm gonna throw this down the range. Boom. 120 miles an hour. Now, if this doesn't work, you may actually be throwing your driver down the range. What's the science on that? What actually happened? How did that happen? Well, all of my 3D research indicates that the best drivers move their lead wrist towards extension through impact. Now, I said towards. I didn't say they're at extension. I said they're moving it towards, which means that their lead hand is decelerating while their trail hand is accelerating, thus providing the throw or the release. So how do we train it? Well, the C stick I already mentioned before, counterweight stick, weight at this end, weight at this end, will automatically give you that feeling of the club head and the shaft lining up through impact. Another thing that you could do that's also in the super speed protocols is you get down on your hands and knees, swing in front of the radar. That will definitely give you the feeling. And if you've never done this, I suggest you do it. All handicap levels got to try it at least once. Get down on your knees, and I want you to hit a driver from your knees. If you're a higher handicap player, it will tell you something about your angle of attack into the ball, I promise you. But if you are a lower handicap player, it will give you that feeling of lining up the axe to a tree. Last thing, you could also, if you are a lower handicap player, could work on your secondary axis tilt, which JT does in spades. What is that? That means that through impact, his upper body is actually moving away from the target. And it's been measured about 10 to 20 degrees with PGA Tour players. And JT on a body track has 96% of his pressure on his trail foot. That's mainly because his lead side is up off the ground and he is tilting backwards. That's why he has pressure on his trail foot. So if you are a better player and you struggle with this feeling, get on your trail side. Because if you're a better player, you already get to the lead side. Get on your trail side, drop your front foot back, and just make swings just like this. You will notice quite quickly that your upper body will angle away. Can you hit golf balls like this? Of course you can. Let's do it. Up on my trail side here. Again, line it up. Square an axe to a tree. That was banged. Never, ever cease to release. And sometimes lag can be a drag. If you're a better player and it's going shorter, spinnier, and more to the right, you are probably moving that lead wrist into flexion more through impact as opposed to extension, and depriving the club head of speed and it's messing with your 3D ball flight. Never cease to release. Lag can be a drag. Go ahead, throw some clubs down the range. Tell them I told you to do so, and we'll see you later.